Don't do that. Don't give me hope, because today we are talking about the Vancouver Canucks' top prospect, Caleb Malhotra, and what he's been up to over the past little while. You see, there seems to be an unexpected link between Mr. Caleb Malhotra and the guy who is now the number one paid player in the National Hockey League, Macklin Celebrini. Mr. $18.8 million himself, a guy who definitely deserves it. I mean, look at the season that he had. At 19 years old, nonetheless, Macklin Celebrini is a beast. And we had ourselves video footage of Caleb Malhotra suiting up at Burnaby's 8 rinks alongside of Macklin Celebrini. BC is a hockey hotbed with some of the country's best young talent training in Burnaby in the summer. The video shows not much, really. It's 16 seconds of Caleb Malhotra and Macklin Celebrini chatting at center ice. You can see that's clearly them. Celebrini with the Sharks gear, Malhotra with the Canucks gear. I do want to talk a little bit about Grady's tweet, though, because he goes out there and says, Victoria's Caleb Malhotra and North Vancouver's Macklin Celebrini. Now, firstly, yeah, we know that Celebrini was playing for the North Shore Winter Club. His place of birth on Elite Prospects is listed as Vancouver, BC. I get it. Some people who are literally from here will have an issue with differentiating North Vancouver and mixing the two up. But on Caleb Malhotra's Elite Prospect page, it says that his place of birth is Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I don't know if that's a glitch, but let's just say in 2008, when Manny Malhotra was playing in his National Hockey League career, Manny, at the end of the 07-08 season, was a part of the Columbus Blue Jackets. So this obviously was way before Manny actually played for the Vancouver Canucks. Grady then goes out there and clarifies the Vancouver Canucks draft video had Caleb Malhotra's birth city as Victoria. And it's kind of blurry, but you could see it. Caleb Malhotra is the profile right there in the middle. It goes date of birth, birth city, and right there it says Victoria. Birth province, it says BC. Country, Canada. So who knows, man? What's really going on with a lot of this stuff? I think most of the intricate details of player profiles seem to be unavailable when these guys are super young. Maybe by the time Caleb Malhotra actually breaks out into an NHL role, that will be fixed. But then again, Macklin Celebrini's profile still says Vancouver, even if he may be from North Vancouver. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Rick Dollywall went out there and tweeted about this as well. Last week, Canucks first-round pick Caleb Malhotra was at World Junior Summer Showcase in Windsor, Ontario for Canada. This week, he has been in Vancouver at Scotia Barn, working out with skating coach Barb Adelbaum and the likes of Macklin Celebrini. This tweet was from yesterday as well, so hey, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Scotia Barn, 8 rinks, you're seeing Caleb Malhotra hanging out in the local Vancouver market. Elite Canuck goes out there and says, San Jose fans are asking, why would Macklin ever leave to join the Canucks? Celebrini spends the whole summer in vacation, now practicing with the Canucks, and one of his great friends, Caleb Malhotra, in Vancouver. There were some more comments on this Caleb Malhotra update. Taylor went out there and asked, why doesn't Pettersson train with some real NHLers? Yeah, okay, yeah. Pettersson, he ain't training at Burnaby 8 rings. He's going out there and training in LA with Tyler Toffoli. So, we can read into that however much we wish to, but just seeing Caleb Malhotra go out there and hanging out with the likes of Macklin Celebrini, obviously that's pretty cool. Just thinking about what you can learn from playing with somebody like this, also somebody that happens to be in your age range. Celebrini is 20, Caleb Malhotra is 18, so these guys are both on a similar wavelength when it comes to how they learned the game and the systems in place as they were progressing through these Canadian hockey ranks. With that said, we had ourselves some more conversation on Caleb Malhotra that I just wanted to briefly touch on. This was back in May, before the Canucks actually drafted him. Anthony Donati, aka the Prospect Don, he does some really good work on Draft Pro Hockey. He was on Sportsnet 650. Canucks Central, back in the day, the good old Sportsnet 650, which is, of course, no longer a thing. He spoke about how Caleb Malhotra could turn into a Dylan Larkin type of player for Vancouver. And while a Dylan Larkin type player sounds nice in theory, you'd like to get a 70-point center, a guy who's never able to get 82 points, who can be a reasonably good all situations kind of guy. You'd love to have that kind of a name on your team, but at the same time, you don't want him to leave in the same way that Dylan Larkin has demanded he leaves Detroit this time around. If Caleb Malhotra ends up becoming Dylan Larkin 2.0 and is that and more for the Vancouver Canucks, obviously it's a fine player. At third overall, you're probably hoping for a little bit more. But still, Caleb Malhotra, he'll be a fine player, right? This was talked about on Canucks Army as well. Dave Hall posted the top 20, Vancouver Canucks prospects, and a few days ago, the number one listed Caleb Malhotra's piece was published. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go out there and read this yourself. There's some really good work here done by Dave Hall. Really good scouting report and analysis done here on Caleb, but if you skip over to the end, you've got all the projections over here. The ceiling for Caleb is an all-situations top-line center who can drive offense, handle difficult matchups, and contribute on both special teams. Maybe that's not necessarily the Macklin Celebrini-like top-tier offensive ceiling like we had hoped for, but it's still a pretty fine projection for a guy. Imagine being a first-line center in the NHL. That's kind of difficult to do. The floor that's written about here, Malhotra possesses a strong foundation, all of which should combine into a high-end third-line center who provides secondary scoring, strong defensive value, and top PK ability. What's your ETA? Malhotra will continue his development at Boston University, where his priorities will be adding strength and improving his agility. While there's always a chance of returning to school for a sophomore year, there is a legitimate pathway that has him seeing games by spring 2027, with a chance to break the Canucks roster in 2027-2028. So, with all that said, if Caleb Malhotra follows the same path of the Dylan Larkins of the world, then he probably will suit up for the Vancouver Canucks towards the end of the 26-27 campaign. Macklin Celebrini, obviously, he kinda busted that mold immediately. His first season in the NHL was right after being drafted, 63 points, 70 games, didn't win the Calder, though, because of Lane Hudson. All it took was one season for him to literally double his point production, so yeah, Macklin Celebrini got a really, really big handle on the NHL right away. Hopefully his training buddy in Caleb Malhotra can do the same. But with all that said, you can let me know your thoughts in the comments section. How do you feel about Caleb Malhotra hanging out and training with Macklin Celebrini in Vancouver? Oops, I did it again. I know, some of y'all might not like that. Oh, Burnaby? Oh, it's Vancouver. Oh, it's North Van. No, don't get your Vancouvers mixed up. We are not all the same. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Caleb Malhotra, inspiring hope for the future. Do you think he's the next Dylan Larkin? What are your thoughts on him and Celebrini? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.